Hi friends, and welcome to the channel. My name is Ryan Abear, and this is where I share my insights. And today I'm talking about Leeway, the access point to freedom. If you feel like you're stuck, that life is encroaching in on you, and you feel like there's nowhere else to go, I want you to know that there's always a granted passageway, a sliver called leeway, and that remains with you. Always, even in your so-called darkest moments. Stick around. Spiritual conversion is this realization that you have room. A little sliver called leeway. It's a change in perception that life is closing in on you, but that rather you're expanding into it. And that's what the universe is doing. It's expanding into itself. And it's doing that with great ease. And it's been doing that for 13 some odd billion years. All by itself. I like to think of it this way. It's like being dropped in a dark forest. Let's say you just fall into a dark forest. And the initial shock is so overwhelming that it blinds you physically. That is, until you stop. Blink a little bit. And notice that your pupils dilate. Now, you won't be able to see this because you won't have a mirror, but your pupils are no longer constricted, but they relax and open and open and open and open and open, and residual light allows you to see. Not far, but enough to know you can step forward. That's what insight is, or faith. Most of us are blind. We cannot see in the dark. We haven't allowed our spirits to dilate, if you know what I mean. Open, like your pupil. And when your spirit expands, when you convert, when you begin to sense that something is growing in you this way, like from the solar plexus outward, you begin to see more and more and more, not in a literal sense though. See, I only see one day at a time, one moment at a time now. That's my insight though. That's my leeway forward. And we use a lot of strange language to explain how flexible life is. The margin of error, room for judgment, room for interpretation, leeway. You see, these explain what spiritual conversion is about. It's about flexibility, adaptability. You have to adapt to the darkness. You have to sit in the darkness. You see, it's like most of us think we just can't. Life is overwhelming. It's coming in on me. I'm claustrophobic. I'm frozen, and we can't move because we think we have to see the evidence before we move forward. But those of us who have converted and sat in the darkness and sat in the stillness and allowed ourselves to go from this constricted pupil to one that has dilated and opened and relaxed and melted and become supple, to pull back just enough to sense that the darkness is not scary, but that the darkness or the unknown is part of this refamiliarization called a human life. That somehow this is about deja vu. It's about like I've been here already. This place can't be so foreign to me, and you can't be my enemy, and this can't be. The sense of separation can't be my way of life forever. At some point, I belong. At some point, I've been here before. I've been dead before. I've been alive before. I've experienced everything before because I am everything. So your spiritual journey is re-familiarizing yourself with yourself because somehow you've gotten lost in your creative power. And that there is no true darkness, no true enemy, no true stoppage. And that this perception of stoppage is really just a blockage in me that dissolves and allows me to expand. And I unlock all the channels of love, enthusiasm, ecstasy, and joy from within. And as I radiate that, I expand and create all these fabulous things without impingement. See, success is built into the universe. And so is the perception that it's beating odds. That's lucky. I think that's so interesting that we would say that the odds that life formed on the planet are just gazillions to none. What are these odds? You got to contemplate that. The odds are what makes miracles possible. So-called miracles. But then you realize everything's miraculous. That reality is just this unencumbered thing. Fixed. And that we have these alternate realities called stories. Like, boy, that was a close call, or that was a coincidence, or that was a miracle, or that was... And it's just happening. Easy. By itself. Nothing's stopping the universe. And nothing's gonna stop it. And nothing's stopping you either. Except this strange illusion of the separate, autonomous self that is foreign, doesn't belong, woe is me, unlucky me. When in fact there is none other. There's this beautiful truth that's everything. And it begins with an adaptation of the eyeballs called your spiritual eyes, which begin to dilate. And it's all about, this is simply put, it is about practicing relaxation. Petrification or tensing or cold, I'm scared, cuts you off from your superpower, which is that waiting, just like, oh, okay. And what can you do in the margin of error or leeway? A lot of times, nothing. Okay, nothing. I'm okay. I got enough food, got enough money, got enough time. I'm good. Today, in these micro moments, it's about just getting into the smaller bits. Where people get stuck is they're just overreaching into the future. What? I got to see the entire future. I got to know everything. Well, you'll spoil a surprise. But it's not all a surprise because you have some night vision. You know the next step. You know you don't need to do anything now. You don't need to take care of this now. And with your night vision, with your relaxed, dilated pupils, with your open spirit, with your suppleness, You can adapt. You can do nothing. You can accept. Or you can do the next step. I think it was Mark Twain who said, everybody complains about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. We do stuff about it. We put on coats when it rains. We put on sweaters when it's cold. We wear shorts when it's hot. That's leeway. You can adjust and adapt. It's all about being just supple. Think about your eyes, your pupils being constricted. And then all of a sudden you can start seeing in the dark, and you see that there's no vacuity. That the intelligence is in the dark too. The setup is all there. And success is built in. I want you to just see how noisy your life might be. And how unwilling you are to sit still. And allow your spirit to dilate. Allow your solar plexus to relax. And your shoulders to drop. And just be flexible. Get comfortable. That's leeway. And then when you get there, in that sense of waiting, it's not really waiting, it's allowing, and you realize you got so many options. A lot of options, a lot of wiggle room. A lot of movement forward. For a lot of people, rock bottom is this your darkest moment. Where you must stop. You must put down the drugs. You must put down the obsessions. You must put down the chasing. You are forced to look at the dark. To spend time alone, to do the things you're afraid to do. Why? To see there's nothing to be afraid of. That's why. To see yourself and what you were scared of. And how your own petrification is futile. And how easy the universe accomplishes its goals. And how it expands without opposition, moving into more of itself. To get reacquainted with unconditional love. To get it acquainted with all the virtues of life. Patience, love, kindness, suppleness, generosity. Oh yeah. I have forgotten. I have those options. I have the option of adaptability. I have the option of acceptance, even death. I can accept death. That's going to be done successfully. Can you believe it? You're going to die successfully. Oh, wonderful. You'll always get to where you are going. And ultimately where you are going is unconditional love. Freedom. From the trappings of the world. And that's realized in leeway. How much space you have. Time to think. Not consumed by worry, but broadened by a dilated spirit, open, comfortable in the so-called darkness, which is the luminosity of faith and trust. Confident. It's working. It always has been working, and it always will work. Because essentially, there is nothing working against it. I hope you enjoyed these insights, and I hope that they helped you relax and allowed your spirit to dilate and open to the options before you. And options come from the word optical, which are inside. My name is Ryan Abair. Please check out my blog. It's called My Morning Motivator. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.